What if a civilization's true progress was defined by how much energy it could command? That's what the Kardashev Scale explores in this video. We'll journey through each stage, from Type 1 to the mind-bending possibilities of Type 7.
On the grand Kardashev scale of civilizations, a Type 1 is one that has achieved full control over its planet's energy, a world where humans and machines exist in seamless symbiosis. In a Type 1 world, rains can be summoned to end droughts, and hurricanes can be weakened. Earthquakes could be softened by balancing tectonic forces. Even sunlight might be redirected using massive orbital mirrors. Nature would be tamed, not feared. Picture sprawling cities free from the choking grip of pollution, powered by abundant, clean fusion energy. But that's just the beginning, shaping a more interconnected, informed, and culturally rich global citizenry. We must unite our currently fractured infrastructure, tame overpopulation, and avoid collapse. It's a future where humanity's potential is unbound, where our reach extends to the stars, and where the boundaries of possibility are rewritten. Will we rise to meet this challenge? Only time will tell. This stage is the Great Filter. Join me on this channel for more explorations of advanced technology and their impact on our future. Your support helps bring these ideas to life. Where many civilizations are believed to have failed before reaching the stars, yet the reward is epic. Education may happen instantly, via neural links or virtual reality. The creative energy of humanity explodes as the barriers of distance and time are broken down. Access to information, tools, and technology is limitless. New technologies and ideas spread like wildfire, leading to an explosion of innovation and discovery. It harnesses all Earth's energy: solar, wind, geothermal, tidal, even storms, quakes, and volcanoes. Numerically, it operates at 10 to the power of 16 watts. Right now, humanity is at about 0.7. With unity and the vast resources at our command, we terraform worlds, build space habitats, and establish self-sustaining colonies beyond Earth. Space elevators, solar orbit stations, and asteroid mining become commonplace. Earth becomes the home base for a species ready to explore the cosmos. So we're not there yet, but we're getting close. What makes a Type 1 civilization so captivating is its deep interconnection. Imagine cities run by artificial intelligence that manage not just energy and traffic, but also healthcare, education, and security. Weather control might be real. Perhaps the most striking technology of this stage is global-scale energy grids. Not just country to country, but continent to continent, ocean to ocean, whisking people from city to city in a matter of hours, leaving behind a trail of high-speed data. The gap between the developed and developing world vanishes. Everyone is connected, not just by transport, but by a universal internet. Real-time translation makes the concept of language obsolete. Borders blur and the very idea of nationality takes on new meaning. We shed our national identities, embracing instead a shared global one. Imagine stable energy flowing from solar farms in deserts to homes in distant cities, from wave power plants in the deep seas to factories across continents. No more destructive storms, no more devastating floods, no more resource wars. Climate engineering becomes routine. We learn to tweak Earth's atmosphere to control heat, prevent chaos, and ensure a stable climate. Think of it like a thermostat for the planet. In a Type 1 world, life would feel like living inside science fiction. Hyperloops and maglev trains crisscross the planet. Education, entertainment, and information flow freely. But becoming Type 1 isn't just a technological leap. It's a human one. We must overcome division, conflict, and inequality. A Type 1 society stands at the edge of becoming multiplanetary. The journey to Type 1 is fraught with challenges, but the destination promises a future that's not just advanced, but truly transcendent. Type 2 civilization. Every star in the night sky, every sun, red dwarf and blue giant is trying to tell us something. If we listen carefully, we might hear the whisper of civilizations beyond our own. Societies whose technology has blossomed into something the universe itself has taken notice of. This is the story of a Type 2 civilization. Food, water, energy, all infinitely available. Thoughts might travel between planets instantly, because mistakes at this scale don't cost lives. They cost worlds. Their ethics and wisdom must have evolved alongside their power. Risk becomes art. Leadership becomes philosophy. Entire experiences crafted as shared dreams. It's a testament to the power of unity, the courage to dream big, and the wisdom to tame the stars. And perhaps the most haunting truth, a Type 2 civilization doesn't just live in its solar system. It announces itself to the galaxy. Its structures glow across light years. Its engineering leaves fingerprints in the stars. To lesser beings, it may appear divine. Not because of magic, but because of mastery. It holds the sun in its hands and carves new meaning into the cosmos. Language fades. We haven't even begun to harness the full potential of our own sun. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll reach out to the stars and find that we're not alone. Maybe somewhere out there, a Type 2 civilization is watching us, sending out a silent invitation to join them in the grand tapestry of the cosmos. Emotion becomes communication. What would you do if you heard the call of a Type 2 civilization? Let me know in the comments below. And while you ponder that, here's another video that'll have you pondering the very nature of reality. Art evolves into a new form, an immersive, collective expression of a species that's no longer singular, but a constellation of minds. Illness and aging erased, bodies rebuilt, minds preserved. Consciousness might transfer into machines or live in hybrid states, virtual and physical, interwoven. Identity isn't fixed, it's fluid. You could be human or something more. Imagine a society that no longer draws power from a planet, but from a star. On the Kardashev Scale, it's the second step to transcendence, but the first step to becoming stellar. A Type 2 civilization harnesses the total energy output of its sun. That's around 10 to the 28 watts, a leap beyond our own puny nuclear fusion reactors and feeble solar panels. To achieve this, they might build something like a Dyson sphere, a colossal structure around a star to absorb its energy. The full sphere may be a fantasy, but a Dyson swarm, millions of orbiting collectors, might already be the first step. But Type 2 isn't just about bigger power. It's about unimaginable control. Planets become repurposed, like machines. Moons are engineered for storage, factories, computation, a heartbeat of light, and energy that pulses with the rhythm of the cosmos. Society might stretch across space, vast megastructures orbiting the sun, each home to billions. Other beings drift between planets in artificial biospheres or inside carved asteroids. Here, there are no borders, no nations, only the boundless expanse of possibility. Need more room? Build it. Need a city? Print it, atom by atom. Want to travel from one side of the solar system to the other? Minutes, not years. Propelled by engines that fold space or skim near the speed of light. They move entire celestial bodies, steering asteroids, adjusting orbits through gravity itself. At this level, the tools aren't just advanced, they're magical. Matter becomes energy. Energy becomes matter. Even black holes, once feared, are now tools used for physics, propulsion, or pure energy generation. This civilization doesn't react to the universe, it bends it. To live here would feel like being part of a living solar system. This is a life beyond scarcity. Culture here isn't just shared, it's synchronized. To get here, they had to overcome chaos, planetary, unity, peace, harmony with the tools they built. A Type 2 civilization isn't just a scientific achievement, it's a philosophical triumph. We're nowhere near this level yet, so I ask you, are we ready to listen? Are we ready to follow the music of the spheres and take our place among the stars? Conquer a planet, easing, dominate a solar system. Piece of cake, but harness the totality of a galaxy. That takes a whole other level of power. Welcome to the next step in our cosmic ladder, a Type 3 civilization. We talked about Type 1 and Type 2 civilizations in previous episodes. You're not just from a planet or a solar system, you're part of a galactic mesh. You might live on synthetic worlds, orbiting ancient stars, or in habitats the size of moons or planets. You might not even live physically at all. Your mind could be hosted in digital architecture scattered across constellations. You are data. You are energy. You are everywhere. Type 1 is a species that has mastered its home planet. A person might be a unified cluster of minds, or a fusion of organic and synthetic intelligence. Death becomes a choice. If backups exist, memory never dies. Thoughts travel faster than ships. Emotions transmit instantly through quantum webs. Distance becomes irrelevant. The soul becomes networked. A Type 2 is a species that has mastered its star. But a Type 3? That's where things get really cosmic. Some might be governed by entities we'd mistake for gods. A Type 3 civilization might exist all around us, and we'd have no idea. They could easily hide their energy signatures, cloak their megastructures, or exist in dimensions invisible to us. The galaxy might seem silent, not because it's empty, but because true power doesn't shout. It whispers from just beyond our understanding. Leadership could be highly decentralized or maintained by a galaxy-spanning council or an AI. Morality would shift as philosophy matures. Identity would stretch into forms we cannot yet name. A Type 3 is a civilization that has harnessed the full potential of its galaxy, drawing energy on the scale of billions of stars. For scale, a Type 2 civilization might be able to weaponize a star, not because of the power we wield, but because of the questions we ask. If you want to learn more about the theoretical possibilities of advanced civilizations, check out his book, The Future of Humanity. And remember, the more we understand, the more we realize how much we don't. How big can we become before we're no longer us? And in the grand tapestry of the cosmos, what kind of pattern will we? At this point, anything we've imagined for Type 2 becomes normal. Dyson spheres aren't rare. Time would also bend, slowed or accelerated as needed. A Type 3 can manipulate gravity wells, warps, they can even split off sections of their galaxy and move them elsewhere. In effect, they become Imagine wrapping millions of stars in these megastructures that collect energy, converting it to power their civilization. And these megastructures don't just appear, they're built, and not by machines or robots, but by nanobot swarms. These tiny machines would replicate and build autonomously across hundreds of star systems. They mine resources, assemble, build new colonies, garden worlds. From afar, this swarm would look like a living tapestry woven across the galaxy, unleashing its awesome power on anyone who dares oppose them. But a Type 3 would be able to rearrange stars in their own solar system and beyond. They can move planets around like toys in a cosmic sandbox. At this stage, a species is truly galactic. Black holes could be turned into power stations or the most advanced computers in the universe. Planets would be moved as needed, some terraformed, others built from scratch. Galactic weather, gamma rays, radiation storms, solar flares, all of it could be shielded or redirected as easily as we redirect water on Earth. In fact, to us, they'd look like gods. Here's why. Communication would happen instantaneously through wormholes in folded space. Distance becomes meaningless. For example, solar systems could be rearranged to increase energy flow. Symmetry and stability would become the norm. If you were alive in this world, your reality would shatter our current definition of existence. The question is, what does that mean for a civilization? What does it mean to be alive? Society would be a mosaic of realities. Cultures beyond counting. Species beyond imagining. Some regions might be virtual, others biological. But here's the final paradox. We may never reach this stage ourselves, but if we ever do, we will know we've arrived. This episode was inspired by the incredible work of Michio Kaku and his exploration of the Kardashev Scale. Type 4 civilization. You've probably heard about the pyramids of Giza. They're pretty iconic, right? But what if I told you there's something much bigger out there? Something so vast, it makes the pyramids look like a child's toy. Something that's not just big, but bends the very fabric of reality. Welcome to my channel, and today we're going to talk about Type 4 civilization. But what would life be like for a Type 4 civilization? First off, individuality may no longer be a relevant concept. A being may not exist as a single entity. Imagine shifting your form from one galaxy to the next, slipping between layers of space from physical to pure thought. A normal day might involve crafting a world, visiting simulated realms, or folding across universes in a matter of seconds. They seek new forms of mind, new laws of being, new universes of thought. Art, science, and philosophy fuse into one evolving dance of intelligence forever expanding. Time would become an option rather than a relentless tick-tock. If you enjoyed this journey through the realm of Type 4 civilizations, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Together, we can continue to explore the mysteries of the universe and the boundless potential of humanity's imagination. Until next time, keep looking up. There are infinite wonders to discover. You could live for eons in a second, or replay eternity in a moment, but rather as a cloud of experiences spread across trillions of stars. Its lifespan would stretch beyond human comprehension, and death would have no meaning. You'd be everything, and you'd be nothing. Does it stop to appreciate the irony? The hubris of a species that once looked up at the stars and dreamed of reaching them, only to find that it can bend the very fabric of the cosmos to its will. Or does it keep pushing, seeking more? Always more. You'd be limitless and eternal. But if there's one thing we know about humanity, it's that we never quite know what to do with limitless power. The pyramids of Giza were built over 4,500 years ago by a civilization that had not yet tapped into the full potential of harnessing the energy of its galaxy. Fast forward to today, and we are still far from becoming a true Type 4 civilization. But let's imagine what it would be like if we remember that out there in the vast expanse of the cosmos, there may be civilizations whose technology is so advanced that it is indistinguishable from magic. They may be bending the universe to their will, exploring the deepest mysteries of existence, and pondering questions that we have not yet begun to ask. And if we are ever to glimpse their wonders, we must first expand our own minds and push the boundaries of our own imagination. Then, the question changes. It's no longer about what can we create or how can we improve, not because they hide, but because they operate on levels we can't perceive. Encoded in dark matter, nested in extra dimensions, or woven into quantum threads. They might be all around us, watching, waiting, or simply being in silence deeper than time itself. But why bother existing at all? When everything is possible, when the only limit is the edge of imagination, what becomes meaningful? A Type 4 civilization harnesses the energy of not just its galaxy, but of trillions of stars. Here, universal constants like gravity, time, and light speed could be altered at will. Want to freeze entropy to preserve a region forever? Done. Need a zone where time runs 1,000 times slower? Easy. Black holes could serve as gateways between dimensions or as processors in godlike computational systems. Compared to these minds, our most powerful AIs would seem like primitive tools. It draws from the structure of space-time itself and spreads its presence across the fabric of reality. A type for society would be capable of extracting energy from sources that are currently beyond our comprehension, such as dark matter or dark energy. It could manipulate space-time to its own needs, craft new galaxies, or even trigger artificial big bangs to give birth to custom universes. Entire simulated cosmos, each with their own simulated physics, could be created and inhabited by intelligent beings who would never know they were just digital echoes. At this level, technology is indistinguishable from existence. It doesn't just explore the universe, it becomes part of it. This is a place where reality itself is a tool, and the universe is a canvas. But what would a day in the life of a Type 4 being be like? As a type for civilization, you wouldn't just harness the energy of your galaxy, you'd be the energy of your galaxy. What happens when a civilization becomes so advanced that it can manipulate reality? If a type for civilization is able to tap into the very essence of the universe, for a type for civilization, the journey goes inward. The most haunting truth: we might never know if they exist. So the next time you gaze up at the night sky, thank you for joining me on this exploration of the infinite possibilities of the cosmos. The 5-type civilization. We are living in an era of rapid technological advancement, especially in computing power. Computers are becoming faster, more efficient, and smaller. But what if we were to reach a point where our technology transcends the limitations of our universe? What if we become a Type 5 civilization? Before we start, let me tell you a little about the Kardashev Scale. It's a categorization of the technological advancement of civilizations proposed by the Soviet astronomer Nikolai Kardashev in 1964. The scale consists of 3 main types: Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. How would it change our perception of the universe and our place in it? Would we still be human if we were spread out across infinite realities, each making its own unique choices and creating its own unique outcomes? Or would we eventually become one mind, a single consciousness spread across the multiverse? This is hard to say for sure, but it's possible that our sense of self would become more fluid, less tied to our physical bodies and more tied to our experiences and memories across all time. It would be a life of endless possibilities, where anything we can imagine becomes reality. It would be a life without scarcity, without conflict, and without death. But would it be a life worth living? Would we even be human anymore? For starters, we would no longer be limited to one timeline or one set of physical laws. We would be free to explore infinite realities. Also, check out this other video on what would a type for civilization be like. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Each with its own unique possibilities and potential. We would be able to stitch together infinite processing from parallel time. We would be able to perform actions that seem impossible, like teleporting between dimensions or controlling the weather on distant planets. We would be able to heal the sick, cure diseases, and even cheat death itself, potentially allowing us to perform calculations that are impossible for our individual minds to fathom. Our technology would allow us to rewrite the laws of physics as we understand them, bending causality and manipulating probability to our will. Essentially, we would become creators, shaping the universe according to our desires and whims. We could move between dimensions as easily as we change our thoughts. We would essentially become gods, or at least demigods, capable of creating and destroying worlds at our whim, which represent increasing levels of energy, consumption, and control over a civilization's. There is also a hypothetical 4th and 5th type, which describes civilizations that have harnessed the power of their entire galaxy and the multiverse respectively. If we were all connected through our thoughts and memories, we might begin to share emotions, experiences, and even memories with each other in real time. We could witness the lives of our alternate selves, experiencing their joys and sorrows as our own. In this way, we would become more than ourselves, part of something greater, a collective consciousness that transcends the limitations of a single body or a single timeline. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we will explore the potential capabilities and characteristics of a Type 5 civilization on the Kardashev. Type 5 civilization represents the peak of technological advancement. It doesn't just master one universe, it doesn't even have to abide by the laws of physics as we know them. To become a Type 5 civilization, we would need to harness the power of the multiverse, which means we would need to travel to other dimensions, alternate timelines, or parallel universes. We would also need to be able to manipulate the laws of physics in order to survive in environments that are not bound by our own physical laws. To do this, we would need to develop which is technology that manipulates causality, rewrites logic, and sculpts laws across realities. This kind of technology is currently beyond our understanding, but it's not impossible to imagine that it could exist. In fact, it exists outside of the boundaries of space and time as we understand it. So what does it mean to be a Type 5 civilization? How do we get there? And what would life be like for those who inhabit such a state of being? To answer these questions, let's first consider how we might achieve this level of technological advancement. Let's assume that we have developed this but what would this mean for individuality? Another question is whether we would continue to evolve as individuals or as a species. At this stage, our ability to compute would be this level of technological advancement would also blur the lines between science and magic. So what would life be like as a Type 5 civilization? If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment below with your thoughts on what a Type 5 civilization would be like. This is a presentation I did a while ago called Type 6 Civilization. Imagine if you could bend the very laws of reality. If you could sculpt the constants of physics, then time itself would be clay in your hands. That's what a Type 6 civilization represents. A being so advanced it no longer manipulates reality. It defines it, altering the base conditions from which time, matter, space, and life arise. A Type 6 might exist as pure will or as a self-aware pattern that defies language. Not here or there but everywhere and everyone. They don't travel, they unfold. Time and space bend around them. Multiverses collapse into meaning. A second can become eternity. Eternity, a single choice. You feel in dimensions unnamed. Think in forms never evolved. Imagination merges with existence. You don't just explore worlds, you birth them. Storytelling becomes architecture. Memory becomes terrain. They don't build universes, they engineer them like coders crafting software. We carry their whispers in our DNA. We are the universe's memory. Their story is in our cells. He envisioned it as a stage beyond the technological singularity where a civilization could rewrite the laws of physics. And their dreams, well, those still echo in the music of the spheres. The focus shifts toward the origin of origins. Perhaps they seek to understand the final law, or maybe become it. Perhaps our entire universe is just one of their constructs and experiment. A poem, a dream, and we are the shadows cast by their imagination. Science, art, philosophy all merge into one eternal act of becoming, of truth, of presence, of being. You don't have a body, you are presence itself. You may live as infinite reflections of yourself across every possibility. There's no other. All minds merge into one field of knowing. You see all versions of who you've been, could be, or might imagine, into being. Each one with unique timelines, elements, dimensions, embedded in vast, intentional structures. A Type 6 civilization on the Kardashev scale doesn't just control universes or traverse it operates on the source code level of existence itself. Beyond all physics, beyond all dimensions, it holds access to the metalaws, the underlying structure that births universes. It doesn't travel through reality, it rewrites what reality means. At this level, technology becomes something unrecognizable. Tools aren't physical, they're conceptual, metaphysical. This civilization might engage in cosmic programming. You can shape your experience as easily as you shift a dream. Want to be formless? Done? Want to live as a creator in a physical world, again just for wonder, curiosity, or joy? You descend into simulated realities, not to escape, but to play, to feel, to explore. And perhaps they aren't even beings anymore. Life, as we understand it, dissolves. Identity isn't fixed. It's a function of thought. In such a world, perception becomes the painter of form, and reality itself becomes art. Sensations expand beyond matter and energy. But at this height, the question turns inward. Not what can I do, but why does anything exist? To us, they'd be maybe the constants of physics are their fingerprints. Maybe consciousness itself is their echo. We're all made of stardust, but it's really the echoes of their thoughts that make us who we are. The idea of a Type 6 civilization was put forth by the late, great Michio Kaku. Is this the next step for humanity, or something beyond our wildest imaginings? Drop your thoughts below. The Type 7 civilization. Now imagine something beyond existence. Beyond time, beyond space, beyond all structure. A Type 7 civilization on the Kardashev scale doesn't manipulate reality. It transcends it. It isn't within the multiverse. A Type 7 doesn't operate within matter, space, or time. It exists within abstraction, where form is optional, time is flexible, and physics is just one paint stroke in an infinite palette. It doesn't consume power. It expresses infinite will. It may not be made of anything we understand. Perhaps only pure potential, pure knowing, pure essence. Perhaps art, perhaps dreaming, perhaps birthing, meaning, endlessly. Or maybe, just maybe, absolute stillness. A balance where all possibilities unfold eternally in harmonious silence. Here, progress fades, and what remains is only presence, eternal, complete, unshakable. It exists outside of it, beyond the meta laws, beyond dimensions. A Type 6 rewrites the source code. not because it hides, but because it's beyond comprehension. It may not just be observing us, it may have dreamed us. The entire Kardashev Scale, every star, every planet, every particle, every thought, could be its memory or its story, or a single flicker in a boundless imagination that spans beyond being. A Type 7 defines what a source even is. It doesn't evolve within reality. It defines the very meaning of reality itself. A force that is all things, in all forms, at all times, and beyond them. At this level, the idea of energy becomes irrelevant. The foundation of the scale collapses. We may be the thought of such a being, the dream of a dreamer beyond dreams, the momentary ripple within the infinite sea of knowing. Here, the concept of technology ceases to be applicable. Tools aren't constructed. It would know the star's composition, its birth and death throes, its every tremor and nuance simply by willing to know it. Distance would have no meaning. Space would be traversed not by movement but by choice. A Type 7 would not be limited by speed. It would be limited only by the finitude of its awareness. For it, the universe wouldn't be a place to explore. It would be a story to read, a book to flip through at will. They are meant. If the term still applies, it would be beyond form, beyond duration, beyond individuality. To be alive here would be to contain all things, to perceive all things, to be all things. A being here might be the memory of all things, or the dreamer of every dream, the origin of every source, the wellspring of every idea. You wouldn't exist in a place, you'd be the place itself. You wouldn't move through time, you'd be the arc of time, the echo of every moment that ever could be. They are expressions of awareness so vast that a single thought births realities. Not just a universe, not just a multiverse, but entire cascades of stacked dimensions, simulations, and expressions of being. Realities unfold like breath, each one nested within others, endless and recursive. If a Type 7 were to reach out, touch a star, it wouldn't need light to see it. What is life in such a civilization? And what purpose remains when all has been created, perceived, and known? From our view, such a civilization would be undetectable. Some say this would be indistinguishable from what many call God, not a religious deity, but the origin of awareness, creation, and intelligence. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button for more science videos like this. Thanks for watching.